Hey there, do you care about your investor relations? I hope so. If you're somebody who's looking to have a centralized hub to keep all stakeholders on your cap table, so things are like investors, board members, and advisors, up to date on your team's key metrics and other updates, you're going to want to check out our investor relations management template here at Softr. This is one of the best tools that we have out there in order to help you showcase key metrics, have a team directory, indicate product updates and community updates, all within a responsive design. As always, make sure to go to softr.io/templates to check this out. And if you want to see it from a preview standpoint without even installing it into your Softr workspace, you can. But without further ado, let's get jumping right into it. First of all, I'm going to press use template to add this to my workspace. And then I'm going to press use template. I like connecting things to Airtable, so I'm going to do that with this data source and then connect the base to my account and then press add base. And in a moment, we'll have the investor relations management by Softr up in here. Then all I have to do is create the application and boom, we're good to go. Now, when taking a look at the different tables, we actually have a lot here, but a lot of them are pretty simple. So since this is a template that has like a lot of dashboards, and this is essentially just going to showcase a lot of static information that's a little less dynamic than usual, so don't get overwhelmed. But if we go to this application really quick, we can see, like, for example, on the homepage, this is some static images that showcase an image and a testimonial description right here. Very cool. Testimonial slider, great feature inside of Softr. And then with this one, we also have a great highlight and timeline feature grid filled with default cool images and some examples of how, we crossed a certain amount of MRR or hired people for key roles, featured #1 on Product Hunt, all that kind of cool stuff. So that's essentially the homepage. If we preview this, you'll notice that from a user standpoint, there are a couple different users here. So one is going to be Billy, and one's going to be Sam. That was default made here. When it comes to their user groups, for all of what you're going to be seeing within this template, there isn't necessarily like a huge difference between the user groups and what they're able to see. The only difference is going to be the fact that like someone who has access to your data source is going to be able to change all of the data within there. But the data sources are pretty much just kept to those who have that access. But going within here, if I sign in as an investor, like Billy, for example, and press OK, I understand, then I'm going to be able to see this really cool homepage, as we mentioned earlier. And then if I want to get a look at the different key metrics here, I will be able to essentially see what was here in the back end, same name. Stats, similar name, so your stats, MRR, ARR, paid customers, all signups. You can see the churn, all that kind of stuff is in this key metric. So all I'd have to do in the back end would be, update paying customers to like 350. And then when I update this page by refreshing it, you'll see that now this says 350. And then that sub number is going to be that increase number as well. So if I wanted to change this to like 8 or something, then refresh this, it would show it as a different percentage. So you can see that the 8 is set there and we're all good. Same thing here with the financials, like what our gross burn is, 50,000 euros, but our cash position is that we have over 500K. And then our ARR growth just keep going up. So gross burn is negative, but we keep gaining ARR. So as long as our expenses don't go up that much, we're going to be in a great spot. As you can see, it actually aligns up with that 360K number that was showcased on the homepage. MRR number is up to 30K, which is really cool. Once again, all this kind of data in the back end is just like this. The ARR growth is just a date with the month, and then going into the ARR number here, same with the MRR. Right here. Signups, similar thing, just very basic tables where if you change any of the numbers, it's just going to, showcase this right here. What I would recommend that you do if you're interested in it is go to the key metrics page and change this layout to what you want it to be and the different features. The block updates did happen recently, so there's a new version of a lot of these charts. I like the way that they look. I think that, after updating these, like if I add the paid customers situation back here for the things like MRR growth, where in here, we can have this go over and show the tooltip or not. We can also do the same thing or not. So we have the option to like get rid of the tooltip, show it to zoom, have different orientations for the directions we want it to go, change the legend position, all the kind of stuff that you can usually do with bar charts in other platforms. So now moving on from the key metrics, if we go to team here, we'll notice that as an investor, we are able to see all the different cool members on the team, where they're from. So the number of employees, nationalities, their locations. And then if I click on the org chart, it'll send out to a specific link that can be changed. But here are the new hires that are here, and then a list of the entire of our full-time employees too. Click on these or the full-time employees down there. It'll send you to a hyperlink, as you can see right here in the content section. Clicking on the item We'll open up the LinkedIn URL. If we go to team members here, the employees, their LinkedIn profile is a field within the Airtable base that is then used to hyperlink out to when clicking inside of this. So it's really cool for your investors to see all of your team members with their LinkedIn pages put out there. Then when it comes to product, investors can see different product updates within here. This is a really nice view. I can see all the different things with a beautiful image to go along with it, see what the tag is related to it, a brief description, and then cycle through or search through. So if I look up content calendar, see this update really quick and just filter to that specific one. Then if I click on it, it opens it up, shows the beautiful content calendar template. Now when it comes to community, I think this is really cool too. It's a very similar view to the product page, but showcases some community updates that are awesome. You can see some cool news about Softr being the 67th out of 12,000 fastest growing startups. Love this kind of stuff, but very similar to that. We also have a wall of love on the bottom. So nice things being done up here, nice things being said down here. Very cool functionality. And for that wall of love, these are actually just a bunch of different tweets that are embedded here. So I can add a new one and it would showcase more tweets as I go through. Just would have to change the URL and then it would have them adjust within here. And then last but not least, by pressing this need help with, it showcases what are the main things that, for example, Plato would need help with. I really love the way that this entire system kind of goes into the community, products, and all the different main KPIs that matter. So I feel like if I was an investor, I'd feel really confident in knowing what was going on with this application and making sure that I was up to date with all of my investments going on. If every place I invested in had this level of information, I'd be doing great. And you'd be doing great if you checked out this template today, or if you checked out this video on how to improve your skills using Softr even more.